On November 15th, 2023, in the bustling blockchain capital of San Francisco, California, a prominent cryptocurrency exchange, CryptoWave, faced an alarming discovery. The exchange specialized in a wide variety of cryptocurrencies, allowing users to buy, sell, and trade assets, including many altcoins. The system used for tracking transactions operated on a sophisticated blockchain algorithm designed to maintain transparency and integrity across trades. However, initial reports from the exchange's analytics team indicated inconsistencies within its ledger, particularly concerning a lesser-known altcoin, Xcoin. The first signs of trouble emerged when analysts identified a series of transactions that deviated significantly from typical user behavior. Multiple transactions involving Xcoin were flagged, showing unusually high frequency and amounts across several wallets that did not have any overt connection to established user profiles. The access vector behind these anomalies appeared to stem from misconfigured permissions within CryptoWave's internal systems. An oversight in the exchange's policy allowed certain internal wallets to execute transfers without comprehensive logging. This misconfiguration created a gap in transaction oversight, resulting in unexplained fund movements that analysts struggled to track. The potential implications of these findings became apparent shortly after the anomalies were detected. Within hours, the exchange experienced a significant uptick in user inquiries, with approximately 2,000 customers reporting issues related to transaction visibility and withdrawal limits that were not typical of the platform's operation. Furthermore, the exchange began to experience a notable drop in trading volume. Daily metrics showed over a 20% decrease in overall trade activity, escalating concerns among internal stakeholders regarding user trust and engagement. As these numbers trickled in, the estimated financial fallout soared to an alarming potential loss of around $500,000 due to disrupted transactions alone. Internally, reactions began to coalesce around confusion rather than clarity. Team members flooded the incident channel with messages speculating on potential causes. Some pointed toward the recent software updates for the exchange's wallet management systems, while others questioned vendor dependencies that may have contributed to the discrepancies. Limited initial communications led to rushed attempts at partial fixes, including manual transaction audits, but with a minimal understanding of the underlying causes, managers began to speculate incorrectly about mere glitches in the transaction processing system. Despite their efforts, the issue persisted without resolution, leaving many team members bewildered about the next steps. Externally, users grew anxious as complaints multiplied on social media. Monitoring alerts triggered by unusual transaction patterns also caught attention, leading to scattered mentions in cryptocurrency news outlets. Although the media coverage was initially low, focused on the growing concern among users, the warnings of suspicious activity began to spark interest, suggesting that CryptoWave might be at risk of a larger financial oversight or potential regulatory fallout. The exchange's communications team prepared a draft statement, but conflicting information led to delays in issuing any public acknowledgement of the events. As analysts continued to dive deeper into the blockchain records, they uncovered links to a broader network of accounts. The wallets implicated in the manipulation were part of an intricate scheme, appearing to be orchestrated by a team of individuals who had intentionally set out to obfuscate the flows of cryptocurrency. Conversations regarding the involvement of multiple parties intensified behind closed doors, raising questions about how extensive the network could be. Despite the efforts to stabilize the situation, the complexity of the operations became evident. Further analysis revealed that funds from various highly active wallets were being periodically aggregated and then dispersed in smaller amounts across numerous other wallets. This laundering method exhibited a deliberate strategy meant to obfuscate the origins of funds, confusing anyone attempting to trace the transactions. The sophisticated nature of these operations suggested deep expertise within the perpetrating group and drew attention toward a possibly established framework for laundering in the realm of cryptocurrencies. In the coming days, the urgency of the situation prompted upper management to engage cybersecurity experts. They proposed the implementation of enhanced security protocols and transaction monitoring systems that could help capture irregularities in real time. This approach aimed to recalibrate risk management as analysts continued sifting through data. However, the looming awareness of how the exchange had become the focal point of potential exploitation remained an ongoing concern. As the investigation proceeded, an escalating tension replaced initial confusion. The presence of external media mentions, combined with increasing scrutiny by regulatory bodies, posed threats of intense audits and investigations. In isolation, teams debated how to respond, balancing the urgent need for transparency with the potential for panic among users. The call for decisive action echoed through the exchange's halls, underscoring the the reality of the situation. 2 days following the regression stage, an unexpected event occurred. An anonymous tip emerged from an insider source indicating that the manipulation of altcoin transactions involved an external syndicate that had reportedly infiltrated various cryptocurrency exchanges simultaneously. This development introduced a new dimension to the ongoing analysis, hinting at a far-reaching network that transcended the operational limits of CryptoWave itself. With growing uncertainty about the extent of the situation, the leadership at CryptoWave prepared for an emergency meeting to discuss the path forward. Conversations quickly pivoted toward the potential ramifications of a larger investigation into the cryptocurrency sector. As analysts continued to probe deeper into the architecture of the network facilitating the transactions, their findings hinted at the possibility of a sophisticated cyber-criminal organization operating in the shadows, data integrity under siege, and the unsettling realities of digitized finance laid bare. The complexities compounded, and the future of CryptoWave hung precariously in the balance as they faced the likelihood of an intense scrutiny that could reshape the very foundation of their operational protocol. This evolving crisis was just beginning to unfold, setting the stage for a deeper and more complex investigation into the possible manipulation of blockchain transactions. As news of the insider tip permeated the walls of the cryptocurrency exchange, tensions rose both internally and externally. Management convened an emergency response team, and by the end of the week, CryptoWave had initiated a formal response. They sought the expertise of blockchain forensic specialists to unravel the nexus of wallet transactions, establishing a timeline of activity that revealed the scale of manipulation. Despite the efforts, delays in identifying the full extent of involvement required that management make difficult decisions about user notifications and potential system disruption. By the second week of investigations, analysts confirmed that thousands of users had been impacted by the fraudulent activities. The total financial exposure amounted to over $5 million in altered transactions and lost revenues from compromised exchanges. An independent audit was swiftly commissioned, revealing extensive failures in the exchange's security protocols, including outdated IT infrastructure and inadequate transaction monitoring systems. Regulatory bodies were alerted, leading to increased pressure from state and federal authorities to disclose details. CryptoWave then faced backlash from both media and users, prompting them to draft and distribute a public statement outlining their findings and the steps being taken to mitigate the situation. However, the statement's impact was diluted when it became clear that their initial attempts to patch the vulnerabilities had resulted in further security issues. Several users reported unauthorized transactions, exacerbating the crisis and prompting discussions about class action lawsuits against the exchange. As a response to the growing chaos, a strategic decision was made to temporarily suspend withdrawals, placing all users in a state of limbo. An official ban on further account creation was also put in place to limit the risks posed by new accounts exploiting the ongoing uncertainty. Meanwhile, the organization prepared for an inevitable legal fallout, retaining a team of attorneys to navigate potential lawsuits. Simultaneously, news of the investigation began to spread across social media platforms and cryptocurrency news sites, leading to a flurry of articles detailing the exchange's trouble. Investigative journalists began connecting dots, pointing to illegal activities tied to other crypto platforms, revealing a broader scheme in which multiple exchanges were implicated. Internal chat logs leaked to the press highlighted the attempts by executives to downplay the severity of the issue, prompting users to question the integrity of not only CryptoWave but the cryptocurrency ecosystem as a whole. In the aftermath, the regulatory scrutiny intensified. On the third week, subpoenas were issued by federal authorities, compelling CryptoWave to provide documentation on all user accounts suspected of involvement in suspicious transaction. An emergency rule change came into force, dictating all exchanges enhance their KYC Know Your Customer protocols, increasing operational costs and compliance burdens industry-wide. Within a couple of months, the fallout from the scandal deepened, CryptoWave unable to recover financially and paling in comparison to competitors who established better trust relationships with users, announced its closure. The decision marked a significant moment in the cryptocurrency sector as the collapse led to wider discussions on regulatory reforms and security measures. The CEO resigned amid chants for accountability, and the company's reputation suffered a catastrophic blow. By early May 2024, the exchange filed for bankruptcy, with clients facing significant unrecoverable losses. You could argue that this incident catalyzed heightened scrutiny across the crypto industry, spurring regulatory regulatory reforms aimed at consumer protection and financial transparency. Various financial authorities around the world responded to the implications of the crypto wave incident by proposing legislative initiatives to close loopholes that had allowed such widespread fraud to occur. As a cautionary tale, the events surrounding crypto wave became a reference point for both existing and budding cryptocurrency exchanges, revealing the fragile infrastructure and significant vulnerabilities within the burgeoning digital finance domain. The final status of crypto wave was declared in July 2024 as defunct, a victim of complex financial crimes and mismanagement in an unregulated financial landscape.